This is figure 6-56 called the cam, and this is the final product of your drawing. So we're going to begin with a new template file. So we start off in our graphics area. We're going to make sure that our line is set to construction line, and we're going to create several construction lines. So you either type X line or you can go to the icon for construction line. Here we're going to create some horizontal ones first. So we click on horizontal. Our first horizontal point will be 0, 0 for the origin. We're going to hit enter to end the command. Then next we're going to go to our offset button. This button makes parallel lines. So we click that. The first question it asks is, what is the offset distance? Our first distance will be the diameter for circle label A, which is 2.62. We click the line we just created and we click in an upwards direction to create the diameter for that large circle. Now I'm going to hit enter twice to reactivate the offset. So the first enter is to exit the offset. The second enter is to reactivate it. So it's now asking for a distance. We're going to split the 262 in half to 1.31. I'm going to click the bottom line again and click upward to get our midpoint. And I'm going to press enter. Our next thing will be to do the distance for C in our picture, and that is 2.12. So we go back to our offset, 2.12, and we're going to click the center line and click in the upwards direction. At this time we're going to press enter twice and back to our offset command, and we're going to type in the radius of D, which is 0.56. We're going to click this top line and click up to get our topmost part of the drawing. Next is our counterbore circle, which is in the center here. We're going to go back to our offset, and for the counterbore, it is said that the diameter for it is 1.25. So we divide that in half. That would be 0.625 for our offset, and we're going to click this line in the upwards direction, click this line in the downwards direction. I'm going to press enter twice. And also for our counterbore, we have another circle that has a diameter of 1.75. Dividing that in half, that would be 0.875. So that's what you type in. Press enter, and we click the center line again, and we click in the upwards direction. Click the center line again in the downwards direction. So this right here covers all the heights for our image for the front view. Next would be for us to do another set of construction lines, but this time in a vertical style. So you click on VER down there at the bottom, and we're going to do 0, 0 for the origin. Next, I will hit escape to end the construction line command, and we go back to our offset. So for the offset distance, we're going to use the diameter for A, which is 2.62, and click this line and click to the right. So that right there lets me know that that's how wide my front view is going to be. I'm going to press enter twice. Type in the midpoint, which is 1.31. And I'm going to click the original line and click to the right to get our center point. Press enter twice. We got to set up the counterbore holes, which is the first one, 0.625. We click the middle line. We click to the right. Click the middle line again. Click to the left. Hit enter twice. The next distance will be 0.875. Hit the middle line again to the right. Same thing to the left. So that completes our front view image. Now, to prepare our right side, I'm going to go back to my offset button. And for the distance, I'm going to choose 2. So I want my right side to be 2 inches away. So I'm going to click this far right line and click over. So now I have 2 inches in space. I'm going to press enter twice. And my measurement E is 1.75. And I'm going to click this line and click to the right. So that should be my total depth in between those 2 lines. I press enter twice. The distance for F is 0.88. Type that in. I'm going to click this line and click to the left. And that pretty much completes my right side view. So it's going to be all in here. Now for my top view, I have to create a miter line. So we go back to our construction line. And this time we choose the angle option. And the angle is 45 degrees. And my clicking point is going to always be the corner point of my front view. So right there. Now, one more thing I need to add is the counterbore's depth. And that's another offset. And the distance is 0.25. The depth would be from this line going to the right. And also from this line to the left. Okay. Now that I've created that, I can create some more horizontal construction lines. So I'll click on HOR down here for horizontal. And what I want to do is click on these points here that intersect my 45-degree line. So what this have done is created my top view in this section right here. Now we're ready to trace our construction lines to build our picture. So I want to begin by switching from construction line to object line now. And my first move will be to do my circle. So I'm going to go to my center radius option. I'm choosing this as my center point. My radius will come out all the way to the edge. I'll do my second circle, center point to the edge. Same thing again, from the center point to the point right there. So that's my counterbore circles and the whole overall shape. I'm going back to my center radius and I'm choosing this center point here and going to the top. Now to connect my circles, I got to use my line command. And so I click on line. I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to right click with my mouse. And I want to choose the option that says tangent, so that I can hit the circle at a tangent point. So if you notice, I have that green icon there, so I can click anywhere on the circle now. And when I come down here, I want to hold shift and right click again, choose tangent again, and I can choose anywhere on the circle and it will create a tangent point for me. At this time, I'm going to press enter to end my line command. Repeat the same process on the opposite side. So I go back to line, I right click and hold shift, go to tangent, I click anywhere on this side of the circle, I hold shift and right click again, choose tangent, and I go to this side of the circle and it automatically puts it in place. I press enter and I'm done with that part. At this time I have to do some trimming, so I'll go to my trim icon, I press enter, and I get rid of this part of the circle at the top. Okay. So next I will go ahead and prepare my right side view. So I'm going to go back to my line command again and begin tracing my construction lines. I'm going to bring it to this particular point right here because that's where my tangent spot is. And I'm going to end the line command there. I'm going to go back to my line and I'm going to go in the upwards direction and then back over. Okay. So now my right side is complete. Up top, I go back to my line command. I begin with the long rectangular shape. This part here. So that completes that part of my shape as far as my object lines. Now let's switch it to our hidden lines. The hidden lines are basically for the holes and all the hidden features. So right here we have a hole in the middle of the front view. So from here going across, I will represent my hole for the bottom part of it. And then I'll do one more going across for the top. I also have a counterbore which I have to represent. So from this point, I'm going in, point 25, and I'm going back out. Do the same thing on the opposite side, from here to here, and back in. Now I do need to trim one piece out of, well, 4 pieces. So I type trim, I press enter, and I want to get rid of these parts right here. Okay. Our next thing will be to go to the top and do the same process. I will create my counterbore part on both sides, and then again it's just a matter of tracing my construction lines. I go back to line, go all the way across from my hole that goes all the way through. There. Now our final thing is to do our center lines. So we go to our center line, and for the center line button, we go to the annotate tab, and we have 2 buttons that can help us out. So for the first thing, let's do the center marks. So we click on center marks, and I will click on the large circle, and it produces a center cross for the large circle. I'm going to also click the top curve here to make an additional one. Now everything else we will use the center line to create the horizontal lines. So right here we need a center line going across. I'm going to select this line here and this line here, and it produces one. Now we do need to stretch this. So we click the line and we're going to move the blue box over to that triangle. We do the same on the opposite side to that perpendicular symbol. To extend the center line there. Now we have an additional center line that we need to produce there. We cannot use that button to do that, so we have to draw this manually. We go to line, and we go from one side to the other. But we also got to extend it, just like the others. So we click that line, we click the blue box, and we move it in the direction we want to go, and we're going to type 0.09. We go to the other blue box and click it, move it in the direction we want to go, and another 0.9, and press enter. So that covers that picture. At the top, we have a center line that has to go all the way through. So we go back to annotate, choose the center line button, and this time I can click on this line here and this line over here, and it comes straight down. And now all I have to do is extend it to the end so that it sticks out. This here completes our cam drawing.